Well, I'm a high volume trainer and I'm a high intensity trainer, meaning basically, 20, 25 sets per body part, even the smaller muscle groups, and basically resting 45 to 55 seconds in between sets, which, even training, pretty heavy, about 80% of max, it's a short rest period for someone my size, which competitively, anywhere from 265 to 270 off season, about 300 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So, you get pretty winded, but, once you get into routine, which I've been doing since I started training 12 years ago, it's become kind of a habit for myself.
All right, guys, Mikey here from Mikey's Iron Rage. And guys, if my voice sounds a little hoarse, I'm coming down with a cold, so don't mind my voice throughout the video. But do I have one hell of a video vlog for you today? And we're going to do it on the cut above the rest Jay Cutler at the 2003 Mr. Olympia, which was one of my favorite versions of the cut above the rest. I mean, he just fucking totally nailed it. He came in sharp as a tack in 2003. I mean, he wasn't beating Ronnie Coleman in 2003 because no one, and I mean no one, was ever going to beat 2003 Mr. Olympia Ronnie King Coleman. At 286 pounds at 5'11", are you fucking kidding me? Ripped to the bone. I mean, the guy was paper thin skinned at 286 pounds on stage. That is just fucking mind blowing. So no one was beating Ronnie Coleman that year. But let's rewind back to 2001 when Jay Cutler placed second to Ronnie Coleman. And that was his first time actually placing good, because in 1999 and 2000, he didn't really place that well. So 2001, he comes in and totally nails it. Some people say that was the best version of Jay Cutler, and I tend to agree. The 2001 Mr. Olympia was just head and shoulders above a lot of competitions that Jay Cutler did. Now, 2009 Mr. Olympia was really good. 2002 Arnold Classic might have been even better than the 2001 Mr. Olympia, but we'll get into that in a second. Now, let's rewind and go back to 2001 when Jay Cutler placed second behind Ronnie Coleman, but got popped for using diuretics. Meanwhile, every single person up on that fucking stage was using diuretics. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Diuretics go hand in hand with bodybuilding. It's like peanut butter and jelly. Are you fucking kidding me? Meanwhile, he gets popped for it. He ends up getting the trophy taken away from him and everything. So what he did was, 2002 comes rolling around. 6 months later, he does the Arnold and looked unbelievable. Unbelievable. It might have been the best Jay Cutler performance ever, was the 2002 Arnold Classic. I tell you, it might have even been better than the 2001 Mr. Olympia performance. Then in 2002, he didn't do the Mr. Olympia contest because it left a bad taste in his mouth from 2001. So then, fast forward to 2003, and this is what you got. A fucking unbelievable version of the cut above the rest Jay Cutler. The only knock I have on him is his back could have been a little drier. See, his back looks good, but it could have been a little drier. He could have been a little drier. Because 2004, he did come in a little bit drier, but he came in a little too big in 2004. That's when he started to get just way too big, but he had to compete with the likes of Ronnie Coleman, who's 286 pounds, 296 pounds ripped on stage. So I can understand why Jay Cutler had to get a little bit bigger, but 265 to 270 pounds is just way too much weight on a guy who's only 5'9". I say it all the time. And the reason why I love this version of Jay Cutler so much, like 2001, 2002, 2003, is because his upper body actually matched up with his lower body perfectly. He was actually in balance, because that was his problem. He was always off. His physique always looked weird, and I always wondered why. And that's because his upper body was always overpowering his legs. Even though he had a really big set of legs, his upper body was just way too big and blocky. But I digress. Now, you had Dexter Jackson, who placed third here behind Jay Cutler, and he looked sharp as a fucking tack. He looked ridiculous. Then you had Dennis James, who placed fourth, and Dennis James looked his all-time best in 2003. That's my opinion. Gunther Schlierkamp placed fifth, and rounding out the sixth spot, you had Kevin Levrone. And Kevin Levrone was super off in 2003. That was his last performance. But I digress again. So guys, let me know what you think about this version of the cut above the rest Jay Cutler at the 2003 Mr. Olympia. And if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, tickle that Kevin Levrone icon button. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Mikey's Iron Rage. Peace out, guys.